So good morning,
Good
good
morning.
evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Racing-Leagues.com, the Sandown 500. Yes, you've heard right, this is the Sandown 500, 164 laps of this awesome circuit. And alongside me is my usual co-host, Troy Allen. Troy, good afternoon, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Steve. Settle in. This is going to be a long one.
Absolutely, and slightly different from our normal broadcast in that Troy and myself will be driving. We're driving in pretty much the same stints, so you will lose coverage during our stint and get coverage back following our stint. So stick with us, viewers. Promises to be one hell of a race.
Well, yeah, it is, Steve. And the drama started before they've even turned a tyre.
So yes, Troy, we've just started. We're on lap 2, aren't we, at the moment? So whereabouts are we with the tracks? We've got Wayne Darrett in front from Scott Taylor second, Rob Herbert third, Brett Clark fourth, Dave Kinnaman fifth, Bert Van Jay sixth, Jimmy Hoffa seventh, Colin Bruns eighth, Bruce Duncan ninth, Matthew Mites 10th, Darrell Bennett 11th, Norman Clark 12th, and Nick Winter 13th. So Troy, catch us up. Where are we?
Well, we've got Wayne Dare driving the 408 with a last-minute withdrawal of Kai Turner, which was devastating news for us here at DSA. So earlier on the week, we've had Darren Goosey pull out driving the 15 car with myself. So last minute, I've jumped in with Wayne here. Got myself a pole position at Sandown.
Geez, Troy, you put yourself under a lot of pressure there. You're going to hopefully take over the race leading car, and then you're going to have to get through your stints and keep it nice and clean as well. That's a lot of pressure just to jump in there.
Yeah, it is, but nothing like a baptism of fire. And look, we're not thinking of coming home in the lead. We're thinking of just coming home with the car in one piece and having some fun.
It's a little bit of a strategy change there for you because obviously with Kai and Wayne, it was probably the favourite pole position sitting car as well. So yeah, a little bit of a blow there to lose Kai so early.
Not early, it was late. We were only talking 10 minutes before practice. And look, our thoughts go out to Kai, whatever his
Oh, and
situation
we've
is
got
at
a
the moment.
move
And
into
here we have
turn
Scott
one.
Taylor willing to move.
The rear end of that car waggling about early. It's making a move nice and early in this race as well. So Scott Taylor to the lead. Rob Herbert, the current V8 Supercars champion, returning to the track in third position there, keeping a watching brief. Looks a little bit loose that work there from what I can see, Troy.
Yeah, it does extremely. But I tell you what, Scott Taylor's put a big move on there, and you can see a lot of smoke coming off those tyres. So I think he's really biting into those tyres early.
Yes, that's the other issue here, that we're only using the one type of tyre. Obviously we're using the hard tyre. Normally the hard tyre is your friend and can last all race. However, this track takes a lot out of the tyres, doesn't it?
Oh, look, that front right is screaming murder, Steve. It really is. I mean, you've got such a high-speed section at that back end that you're really leaning on that tyre, and it's not a happy tyre.
Not at all. So just looking back now, Scott Taylor to the lead, Wayne Dart second, and we've got Rob Herbert now looking to make a move behind there as well. So just on board with the Mercedes there, so looks to the inside into turn one. Not this time, unfortunately. Takes a good line over the curve there, plenty of grip around here.
Yeah, the grip level here today is absolutely phenomenal. It's
little bit of a
it's phenomenal.
block across the curve there from 33. That's not the ideal line through there as well. We're looking back in fourth position. We have Brett Clark, who started the 69 Nissan Altima there as well, so top Nissan in fourth position as well. Two-time V8 Supercar champion, keeping a brief on the V8 Supercar champion at the moment. So all to play for, nice and early in this race as well.
And this is the battle we've all been waiting to see, Steve. The Herbert versus Clark. Everyone's been curious to know who is actually faster. And it is a real shame that we couldn't have Turner here to back that three-way battle.
Absolutely, but we're in for a little bit of a treat here. So Herbert is definitely looking for way past that Mobile One DSA car at the moment, so he wants to get on with it. Clark's keeping a nice watching brief, and then behind that we've got Bert Van Jay from 555 Racing. So two new drivers to 555 Racing this weekend to transform the team in points as well. And a good move there by the 555 team.
Yeah, it was, because we were actually talking about it at DSA ourselves, that we were thinking we were actually a chance to claw back a lot of points in the team's championship. But now with us going from a two-car operation down to a one-car for this event, it definitely hurts us.
Absolutely, yeah, it's going to hurt in the team's points there. So we're seeing a little bit of a spread at the moment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars are clearing out a little bit and forming their own group. There's a little bit of a gap between some of them, but as we said, this is a long, long race as well. But plenty of time for people to win it or lose it in the first stint as well. So any mistakes are going to be punished heavily here, aren't they?
Well, they are. But in the same token, a mistake sometimes is a little bit more forgiven for you because you have got that distance to make it up. Unlike our races early in the season, where in that those 20-lap sprints, if you make a mistake, race is over. Wait for round 2.
Totally. So just looking back there now, in 10th position, we've got Bruce Duncan in the Vauxhall VXR8.
Hang on. Vauxhall. When did Vauxhall decide to make an appearance in this championship?
I think obviously with it's our car, with being the European series, you know, a little bit of representation from the Northern Hemisphere as well. So Vauxhall quite happily wanted to stick their badges on because the Commodore is a VXR8 over here. You can actually get one, so it's good to see another marquee, even though it's not really out there.
Oh, Steve, I'd be having words with your driver there. He's taken a lot of curve through that chicane, and he almost put it in the wall.
He is. Looks like he's having a little bit of a handful there as well. So we got Norman Clark just in front there as well, starting the Oranga Racing car in an Xbox car from the looks of it today.
Yes, it does. No, I think I've seen it on my screen, but not to worry. So the question I've got to ask you, Steve, whose setup did you guys end up going with? Because I know you and Bruce were having that argument as to who was going to have the lead setup.
Well, we went with my setup, so it's more tuned towards me. So I'd expect Bruce to have a little bit of an issue until it comes in a little bit and he gets a bit more used to it.
Is it the type of car that comes on further in a stint, or is it one that's good in a stint?
It certainly does. I mean, I like to drive with a lot of oversteer, so it's probably a bit loose for Bruce to get him started. But once the grip levels come up a little bit, he sort of balances it out. So our strategy is to drive to a number. And if we just look at the moment, he's in the 109s. He's done a 107.9, which is where we're aiming for, to be honest. So we're still sort of on the crossover threshold as to whether we run a 5-stop strategy or a 4-stop strategy. I mean, personally, when I've worked the numbers, I think a 5-stop strategy comes out as the fastest by a couple of minutes if you drive to a certain number. But that's obviously taking into account no safety cars. If there's a safety car, we're going to have to switch strategy.
Yeah, there's that variable safety car. But look, at this point in time, if we were going to have one, I think we would have already had one by now. But everyone seems to have kept their noses clean and had some good racing already.
Absolutely. Well, from our point of view, we've planned for 4-stop strategy, but we've got the option to switch to 5 if there's no safety cars. So we're just going to keep our powder dry for this early stages. Try not to get down a lap too early, and make sure you've got enough tyre to fight with.
I think that's the key here, Steve, is the tyre wear. If you can hold the tyre on the car, you're going to be in a good position because you can burn your fuel out quicker, and then if the tyres keep you in position, then you're going to be right on the money.
Absolutely. So Scott Taylor there is pulling out a little bit of a gap now. He's on 1.8 second lead over Wayne Dare, who's got his hands full with Rob Herbert, who's desperately looking for a way around there. And if we just take a quick look at the lap times, Herbert's dropped in on 106.286 is his last lap, and 106.314 for Wayne Dare, which incidentally is both of their fastest laps. However, 106.182 is the fastest lap by Scott Taylor at this point in time. And here we go again. Rob Herbert making a look into turn 1. He's not going to quite make it through there, but he's definitely giving him something to think about in there.
Yeah, he's filling those mirrors, but Wayno, he's a seasoned campaigner. He's from OR Racing, and he's won Accolade Central over there. Hence the reason why I approach the current drives, because I know he can bring a car home in one piece and not let the competition phase him.
Yeah, so just on board with Rob Herbert now. We're just watching both cars. It's very, very loose during turn 2 there. So it's going to be a challenge to try and make the cars loose in the race line. You go off the race line, you're going to be a hell of a lot looser around you. Oh, and here we go again. No. That 408 car looks like it's a right hand for Herbert struggling to wash behind him there.
Look, I can say for warm-up today, the car's very pointy. It's got great turning, so if you sort of oversteer on it a little bit, it's going to bite you.
Absolutely. This is allowing Scott Taylor to make a clean break now. The gap is up to, let's just say on this one, 2.6 seconds. So he's pulled out almost another second there. So Herbert needs to make a move and soon if he's going to try and challenge for the lead in this race.
He's definitely pulling a gap. I think it's the fact that we all know that when you're in a battle with a driver, lap times drop off and everyone else can clear out or catch up.
Absolutely, so it's looking quite good here so far. So just looking down at the rest of the field, so we've got Scott Taylor from Wayne Darren, Rob Herbert, Brett Clark keeping a nice watching brief. They're not hurting the car too much, but they're keeping close enough in case anything happens they can take advantage of it. We got Bert Van Jay doing a fine race there in fifth in the 5 car for Evo 5 Racing. He's actually ahead of his teammate in the 55 car named Kinnaman, but they're sort of running together, and I reckon they're planning for later in the race. You just got to keep the leaders in touch, haven't you?
Definitely, and from what I hear, Kinnaman's doing a solo stint in this 161 today.
That is going to hurt towards the back end of this race, certainly. I mean, it's not just physically, but mentally is the main sort of issue with this length of a race as well. You've got to be sharp, and as it goes on, Dave's going to get, shall we say, less sharp.
You would think so. You would think so. I mean, my bum's going numb already just thinking about it for him.
Yeah, well, at least it's not Bathurst. That'd be a nightmare.
6 hours solo stint. No, thank you. Wow, I'm just watching the Dare and Herbert battle here. These two are really taily out of 3 there.
That's exactly what I've seen on the previous lap as well. They're both sort of slinging it at it. Somebody needs to make a move soon. Here comes Herbert down the inside into this one. Is he going to hold it in there? He looks like he was making a move, but he had to back out of it. There's no room for 2 cars, unfortunately. But he's looking.
Good driving all around.
Yeah, Herbert's definitely looking more determined now, and it's great to see him back on track as well. He's lost none of that pace. He dropped in a 104.8. That's a 104.8 in qualifying, which is a sensational lap.
Yeah, to drop it into the 104, Steve, was unbelievable. It was predicted. There was people that said, look, Rob can drop a 4, but to then actually do it is a whole different thing.
Yeah, so here he goes looking at turn 1 again. There's plenty of pace in that 408 Holden as well. It's not going to give up easily.
No, we've Bruce Duncan's special here. He's given us a decent engine for the straight line speed.
Absolutely, that's good. It turned out at the right time for this. And look at this, Herbert's got a good exit out up with a little bit of oversteer again just as he puts the power down. Got a nice draft coming up the hill. They look like they're coming back to Scott Taylor a little bit, and they have. They've come back 3/10 in this lap to Taylor. So this fighting ultimately will cost both cars if they don't settle one way or another.
I think it will. They're going to either burn the tyres off these cars or burn themselves out.
And interestingly, just take a look now. Clark has decided he needs to do something and soon, because he's probably getting a bit worried about first position escaping up the road. So he's come right up to the back of Herbert. And this will be a 3-way battle very shortly. And a lot of oversteer there for Rob Herbert coming out of the last corner, so he's lost a bit on the straight.
Yeah, you saw the licorice stripes coming out of the turn there. He's definitely on it hard.
So just watching now, yeah, David Clark is right under the rear wing now as well. So look at that oversteer.
Oh!
That car looks a bit of a handful to say the least.
I think Herbert's starting to feel it a little bit here. He's getting pressure in front, pressure from behind. It's definitely the meat of the sandwich. He's got good drive there.
Awesome drive off that corner, no oversteer this time. He's down the inside there. Look at Clark, ever the opportunist. He's trying to follow through on that one, but he's hedging his bets. Herbert's definitely got the inside line. This should be a pass for position at this point, and it is. Look at that. That car is completely set. That was an awesome move there by Herbert as well. He just about kept it down. Clark is trying to buy into this now as well and get under the 408 too.
Yeah, look, good piece of driving there, but in the braking area, it definitely looks unstable, doesn't it, Steve?
It definitely does not look happy. So we've got 13 laps in at the moment. We will cut off the broadcast on the 23 lap, I would say, Troy, just so we're ready for taking over ourselves.
Yeah, mate, I think we'll give him a 20 lap stint.
Clark down the inside into turn 1. He's not messing around. As soon as he's seen Herbert go, that was go time for him.
Yeah, I think Wayno's probably seen that the tyres are starting to hurt a little bit and he's just going to back it off. But in saying that, he has not let go. He's sitting right under the rear wing of that Nissan.
Yeah, nice looking car for this enduro race as well from both teams there. The Rizla green certainly sets that car off.
Yeah, it does. And the 408, handsomely decorated by Bruce Duncan. He's done a phenomenal job on the decals in that car.
Yes, it definitely does look good as well. And I'm just looking now, the two Ford teammates are looking to buy in sooner rather than later as well. So Herbert is rapidly trying to make inroads into first position at the moment. He's got the gap back down to 3 seconds. So he's coming for the lead. It looks like lap traffic already for Scott Taylor. If you take a look in front, we've got the Winkler Mercedes, I believe, going into turn 2 now as the Vegemite car heads towards it.
Lap traffic, and what lap are we on, Steve?
We are on lap 15 at the moment, so another 6 or 7 laps and we will jump out ready for taking over our own stints.
Yeah. Just a second. The masseuse is already calling me in for my rub down pre-race.
Excellent. So here we go. We've got Scott Taylor safely past the Winkler Mercedes. Rob Herbert is trying to make a move going into the back straight. Unfortunately, he looks like he's going to get caught behind it and might lose a little bit of time there. Oh, he has as well. That's not ideal. Oh, the Winkler car goes off track. Not what you want to see this early in the race. That's probably giving a
No, it's not.
Giving a frightener to everybody else. I'm going to pop back through the traffic and see where my teammate is. So we've got our 111 car in 8th position in the hands of Colin Bruns, doing a fine job at the moment, running in the 108s with a 107.4 as his fastest lap at the moment. So about on par for what we expected. Then we've got Norman Clark in the 09 car for Oranga Racing. And then finally the Vauxhall is just coming down the back straight now through the chicanes into the second to last corner.
It still sounds weird hearing Vauxhall on a V8 Australian Championship.
Yeah, so we're going to be careful here so we don't lose a lap anytime soon, but we might be alright. So we're 16 laps in the book. Everything's looking fine. We've got Scott Taylor in the lead.
The question I've got to ask, Steve, now we all know that the problems that Ian Haddon's had in the Australian season over the past few rounds, which Ian do you think is going to turn up tonight?
Well, I checked the lap times and Ian looks like he can run in the 106 flats at some point, so I think we're going to have the other Ian Haddon, which is unfortunate for me because I need to get on top of him and soon.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for me too because it means I'm going to have some more pressure in front.
Definitely. So it's 17 laps in the books now. Scott Taylor has got a 3-second lead from Rob Herbert, which seems pretty static at the moment. So I think Rob's probably hurt his tyres a little bit. That car does not look set up nicely at all, does it, Troy?
No, it doesn't. You got to ask yourself the question: whose setup they went with. Now, I mean, talk around is that Rob only runs default and can get a car to do whatever he likes from there. And then obviously Dan's someone that really tweaks his car. So it'd be interesting to know which way they went with it.
I would assume, due to seeing the times that Dan was running in practice, I'd assume that they've come somewhere in the middle because Dan was a lot faster in practice than he was in qualifying until Rob showed up. So I would say it's pretty much tuned towards Mr. Herbert, which is no strange result at all because the 104.8 in qualifying, that's the driver you want out there. No offense to Dan,
Definitely.
obviously.
No, exactly right. But you definitely want to have your lead driver more comfortable in the car because he's the one that's going to be doing majority of the driving and he's the one that's got the pace.
Interesting to see when we see the first stop. So we would be expecting stops from around lap 32, 33 if you're on a 5-stop, lap 40, 41 if you're going for a 4-stop strategy. So not too far away from the pit stops. We'll give it another 2 laps of coverage and then we will drop off and prepare for our own swaps.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Steve, but the butterflies are starting to turn around in that stomach.
Oh yes, mate.
The legs are twitching.
So Scott Taylor in the lead. His lead has now been cut to 2.4 seconds. It was 3.3 at one stage. So Herbert is starting to make inroads. Obviously, that was quite a sizable lead he pulled out at that point. So it's going to take some time to come back. It's down to 2.2 seconds on this lap. So looking at the last lap, it was a 106.950 for Scott Taylor, 106.460 for Rob Herbert, and Brett Clark 107.091. That's a little bit unexpected. I would have thought he would have been following Rob as close as possible.
Yeah, it could also be strategy, Steve. He could be maybe saving some tyre for the back end of his stint to really put some hot laps in.
This is true, I suppose. Yeah, it's the difference between the 4 and the 5 stop strategy. If you're on the 5 stop, you push now and push hard. If you're on the 4 stop, you need to keep something, don't you? Look at the gap.
Yeah, exactly right.
Down to under 2 seconds on this lap, so Herbert's really going for it. And there's lap traffic coming up as well, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this one.
This is where it comes into its own. The ability to get around the lap traffic, the ability to handle lap traffic, and to be so early into the lap traffic. It's going to be interesting come the back end of the race when everyone's a bit more tired, brains aren't as sharp, reflexes aren't as sharp, and it's going to really take some managing.
Absolutely, Taylor's just trying to negotiate this Nissan into turn 1. He just goes down the inside now. Hopefully the Nissan stays out wide. It's that Nissan's racing him for position as well. That's not the thing to be doing with the race leader. Look at that.
And I don't think it's Nissan, I think it's a Falcon, Steve.
Oh, it's hit the race leader. Herbert's up into the lead.
And this is the thing about managing lap traffic.
That is poor driving from whoever's in that car.
That's the Mitz car, so I think that was Shane's.
Oh, that's cost the lead for Scott Taylor. I'm sure he's going to be furious on the radio at this point. Oh, and he's almost lost it into that corner.
Now he's got to sit back, recollect his head, find his rhythm again, and get back into the game. He can't let that mistake unsettle his whole race.
Exactly, and Troy, it is time for us to get out here. So, everybody, we will be back with you following our stint. So, we'll get up when we can. So, see everybody later.